You're listening to The Signal Daily. Hi, I'm Shorburi, your host for The Signal Daily podcast. This is the episode for 17th June 2024. In this episode, we look at how Indian summers can impact EVs. We're also discussing China's formidable solar energy industry and if it can survive the twin challenges of prices crashing at home and trade restrictions abroad. Tune into the full episode. This is not a comparison that I thought I'd ever make, but there's one thing in common between an average North Indian right now and an EV. Both are struggling to function in the Indian summers. As the country tries to pivot towards clean energy in the automobile sector, the climate change problem is a big hurdle because EV batteries hate extreme temperatures, whether it's a frigid winter or scorching summers. It's so paradoxical, right? EVs are meant to cut down greenhouse emissions and fight climate change, but how will they manage to do that if climate change itself deters the functioning of EVs? So here's the problem. The comfortable temperature range for EVs' lithium-ion batteries is somewhere between 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. But North India is getting roasted in a summer where temperatures are shooting up to as high as 50 degrees. Now, such extreme temperature can impact the speed of chemical processes that take place in the batteries. That, in turn, can lead to cracks in the batteries. Now, this impacts the battery's performance, its efficiency and longevity, and can also potentially increase fire risks. In fact, studies by Recurrent, which is a Seattle-based EV analytics startup, indicated that EVs can lose between 20 to 30% of total range in temperatures above 38 degrees Celsius. Also, do bear in mind that unlike conventional cars, EVs don't have an internal combustion engine that has mechanisms to cool down a car. Now, in the Indian EV market, a significant barrier to the wider adoption of EVs has been the absence of a reliable charging infrastructure. This challenge is further compounded by the battery health problem. And if you're wondering, can't we just change EV batteries? Well, you totally can if you have about rupees 3 to 4.5 lakhs to spare, because currently, that's how much replacing an EV battery costs. But how is that supposed to encourage the masses to buy more EVs? Now, to solve the battery health problem, companies like Tesla are trying to tinker with AI to analyze battery health. But then, AI can only do so much. What is needed is better batteries. And as an Indian Express article says, one way to achieve that is improving the testing ecosystem itself. When testing EV batteries, it has to be done in real-world conditions, like hot summers, for instance. When testing EV batteries, it has to be done in real-world conditions, like hot summers, for instance, instead of a vacuum, so that we get a realistic understanding of how much an EV battery can withstand. Secondly, policymakers feel that production of EV batteries have to be localized, keeping in mind the local conditions. There can't be a one-size-fits-all approach. So Indian batteries will have to be made to suit the Indian conditions. Well, all I can say is EVs have a long road ahead before becoming mainstream. And now for our second segment, we are going to bring you deep dives on stories from the world of technology, business, policy, and anything that leaves you with food for thought. 2023 was arguably an important year for China's solar energy industry. After all, last year, China installed more solar panels than the US has managed to put up over its entire history with solar power so far. Chinese exports of fully assembled solar panels also climbed 38%, while it cut the wholesale prices of panels it sells by nearly half. Well, it's safe to declare that China's state subsidies have indeed created what Bloomberg calls a world-beating industry. Consider this. Chinese companies control 80% of the production capacity from start to finish in solar's global supply chain. That was in a way always the plan, right? Faced with a stagnating economy, China's leaders believed that a new trio of industries, that is, solar panels, electric cars, and lithium batteries, will accelerate China's growth and replace the old trio of clothing, furniture, and appliances. Needless to say, they put their money where their mouth was, and eventually, China's solar industry came to dominate the world. In 2024, however, not everything is as gung-ho. That is to say that while in 2023, China's solar industry assumed the throne, in 2024, it will have to defend it. The rapid increase in China's solar capacities has created two formidable challenges for the industry to tackle, one at home and one abroad. So what's happening is that at home, prices of solar power have collapsed. Blame the breakneck expansion of the industry. As Bloomberg reports, solar power supply in China is outstripping demand. Chinese firms have the ability to produce 1,154 gigawatts of solar modules, while the projected demand this year is about half at 585 gigawatts. So naturally, too many factories are competing for fewer projects, driving down prices to record lows. Jifan Gao, who is the chairman of Trina Solar Company, which is the world's third largest manufacturer of solar panels, told Bloomberg, and I quote him, quote, companies looked out for their own interests without considering the overall impact if all their rivals acted the same way. They were helped along by local governments eager to meet their growth targets and banks hungry to make loans, end quote. So that's the story at home. Rapid build-out has crashed prices, and analysts don't think any recovery in prices is happening before 2025. While abroad, a wave of protectionism is sweeping across countries. Many governments in the West don't want to rely upon a geopolitical rival for energy that is seemingly the best bet against dirty fuel. So last month, the US President Joe Biden slapped trade measures against Chinese solar panels. India as well has imposed import duties, and Europe is expected to follow suit. Which begs the question, is China's solar industry about to go bust? Now, that would be a stretch. For one, many Chinese companies are sitting on mounds of cash that they earned in 2021 and 2022, which should cover them this year. The most probable outcome of this twin challenge of crashing prices at home and trade restrictions abroad is then consolidation. Smaller players will either go bankrupt or merge with bigger companies. So when the storm is over, the Chinese solar industry will be reduced to a few but formidable players. That's not too bad a scenario, is it? If you like listening to The Signal Daily, please show some support. Rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We'd love to hear what you have to say about this podcast. So feel free to shoot an email at hello@thesignal.co. This episode was researched, written and produced by me, Shorbari, and Anoop Senwal. Edited by Roshni Nair. Mastered and mixed by Yash Hirve. You can catch this podcast every morning on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime Music, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. We are thesignal.co on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter.